dual showdown. We have finally, after 14 matches, come to the conclusion. Our grand finals here between dahang and clawz. Let's start things off here with you, clawz, since you qualified first. You didn't get the opponent you wanted. However, you're getting the opponent who has back-to-back victories at DreamHack Winter and DreamHack Tours. How do you feel coming into this?
First of all, I want to thank you for practicing with me, because I think because of this, I got to grand final again in duel. And of course, I think for both of us, it's a great feeling to go back-to-back.
You know, bring it in, come on. Okay. All right, well, it didn't help you in twos, but at least it's helping you in duels. So dahang now, you've come here to challenge up against clawz, where you two challenging against each other. Is this an opponent you've been looking to play in duel for a long time?
Yeah, because, I mean, I have played, I would probably say, all the other major players. I haven't played clawz yet, so it's going to be cool.
Yeah, you did beat him yesterday, but you're going to have a chance to do it yet again. I think you hear the crowd as well on this one. But last question here before we do get started for each of you. Coming into this entire tournament, did you actually spend a lot of time doing duel, or were you just focused on 2v2?
Just focused on 2v2.
Okay, quick and easy, clawz. Last question for you. Are you going to win or are you going to lose?
I don't know.
Really? You don't know?
I will finish this race later.
Okay, well, I'm glad my practice helped you come up with an I don't know. Why don't you guys shake? Oh, no, we're done. We got the hug. You had your chance. Let's get you guys to shake hands. I hope it's a great match for you guys. Shake hands one time. Hey, you didn't miss it this time. At least for, 1 out of 2. That's good for you. Guys, take it away on the desk.
We have successfully seen clawz shake the hand of an opponent.
That's Jason Kaplan that's BM now. I mean, what
yeah, well, now we can also blame Jason if things go one way or the other. I mean, it has been tense up here. You would think that in a showdown, best of one, it would be a little bit of a lark, but in fact, the tensions have gotten even higher. Zoot's been scribbling down all sorts of inflammatory notes on the note cards. I can't even show you what he's written down. Yeah, you really don't. But we're about to find out. clawz, dahang, 25,000 bucks. And bragging rights, really. That's a the biggest thing.
It's interesting that they've never played each other. You know,
it really is.
It really is not in the practice area, not in a tournament, because they've been in several dual tournaments together. It just hasn't worked out that way.
Scripted.
So it's actually this is totally scripted. Rigged, folks, rigged. But no, it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. But now that I know that clawz has been spending some time with Kaplan and Quake, I think he's going to lose.
Oh, you know what? I was glad you weren't, going to be joking about that. That's serious. I say that with a straight face. I think clearly, if you play with Kaplan, Zoot would know this firsthand. It just kind of lowers your skill level a little bit. We'll raise the tone of the discussion a little bit though. So I want to talk a bit more about the two players. I mean, these are unbelievable talents. Going into QuakeCon like a week ago, I thought dahang. I mean, I've been fanboying him since DreamHack Winter. The guy was unbelievable.
Get on my level.
I personally think he's the best player in NA. I know there's some people who might think otherwise, but his results show it. He is absolutely astonishing. And clawz is just someone, when you put in a duel situation, he's just got this right mentality that allows him to use his skills in such fantastic ways that he doesn't really feel nerves in the same way. He doesn't get put off certain fights that others would, and that allows him to make such beautiful Quake.
I just think he's a young player who's good at masking the nerves through overconfidence and that expression of confidence. I would know that from personal experience. So I'm just kind of going on that as a young man back in my day. But I still think he's a tremendous player. He really is. But dahang, I said it yesterday after Liquid won their 2v2, and I'll just give a shout to Rafa and dahang. I said it straight up that they're two of the best Quake players I've ever seen in my life, hands down. So clawz, that's with the benefit of hindsight. clawz is a young guy. He doesn't have the many tournaments. He could develop into that. And we'll see if he takes another step today.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if clawz's raw skill and bravado is enough to allow him to just keep getting away with the things he's been getting away with. But we do have our map. We have our champ bands. And that is going to set the stage for this grand final. Best of one. It's going to be quick. It's going to be dirty. And I know it's going to be bloody as well. We got Clutch out as well as Visor. Blood Covenant is our map. How much more classic can you get?
I really love this. We've got a large map. There's possible for fast, slow, just crazy plays everywhere. I think this is going to be absolutely fascinating.
And you're a humble man, but I got to give credit to Zoot right now. He wrote on a cue card before the match, before the picks. Oh, I'm saying it.
Don't say it.
He picked it. He picked Visor, Clutch bands, and Blood Covenant as a map. He picked everything that we're going to go into.
I'll
this
pretend
final.
I didn't see it written down somewhere else.
No, sure.
That's psychic, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's
You
psychic.
gave me way too much props there.
Oh no! Let me guess. Somebody told you that? That's
I've got a
horrible.
secret connection.
See how easy it is to fool me today?
I'm feeling a little bit relieved that we're not seeing, we're not seeing Blood Run and we're not seeing Corrupted Keep. We've seen how incredibly scary both of these players are on those maps respectively. And now Blood Covenant, for all the other things that we can say about this map, I think this is the perfect proving grounds for either of them.
Can I ask you a question? Are you going for dahang to win?
You know me.
Are you cheering him? You know what happens when you cheer for dahang?
I cheered for him at DreamHack Winner.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
And so did I.
That's
So
okay.
did I.
All right.
Well,
okay.
you
Let's
already
go
know my
first.
pick.
All right,
Obviously,
the sandwich here. All right, guys. clawz has got this. All right, clawz has got this.
no, I'm gonna have to go with the hang, man. Because I'm going with experience, and I like I said, I really love the young man clawz. He's a great player, but there are some weaknesses there that I think dahang's experience and knowledge of the game. If he's on his game, he has to be on his game, of course. I think he can exploit something.
Do you think we've seen enough matches in this best of one bracket that we can really have a good inkling of how dahang's performing? I mean, clawz, I think it's pretty obvious. It was a disgusting matchup last time.
I just, when you ask me that question, all I see is the torn up sheet of paper at DreamHack Denver. That's all.
The dual rails.
No, I just think I see that torn up sheet of paper, meaning, these guys are so good, anything can happen. We up here, we try to make our expert opinion, we try to feed into it as best we can, but in the end, it's up to them to execute up there on the stage.
Yeah, on a serious note, I think that the nicks from clawz is something that dahang should fear, because he almost had quite a lot of trouble with that versus Razy.
Yeah, I mean, he said it himself. I mean, these are champions sometimes that kind of fade out of popularity and everybody's kind of focused on other strategies. And then when they come back in, maybe it's incredibly dangerous because you just maybe don't know what to do about it.
Completely. Well, guys, I think we should be jumping into game any moment here. The $25,000 is going to be put on the line right now. Got a score prediction at all? I think we've got a couple of seconds.
It's going to go, to me, it's a 3-2. I mean, if you're calling anything else, these guys are so evenly matched. If it's 3-0, that means just somebody played great, somebody didn't maybe perform to their level, but it's going to be an epic match, in my opinion.
3-2, last champion.
3-2 last champion.
Yeah.
Man, we already.
How often have we seen that happen?
Just had that on dahang race.
I
We've had
know
it a
we
couple
did.
of times.
That's the point.
I feel like we've had quite a bit of a treat on that.
Yeah.
You know what? I think clawz is going to go 3-0. Sorry. Take that. I shouldn't be saying that here in NA.
I can't disagree with you objectively. I mean, he's certainly capable of doing something like that.
Yeah.
So that's what makes him so amazing.
I would like to see
can't wait
dahang take a double title though again. I think clawz is going to win, but I would like to see the double from dahang because the guy deserves so much credit for the plays that he has.
Yeah,
He's
phenomenal.
unbelievably
Phenomenal. But also seeing clawz win back-to-back dual championships in QuakeCon, that's also a rare feat. Like I said, there's only a few players.
Took Rafa a long time to do that.
Took Rafa a long time. And Rix, our original QuakeCon champion, was also able to do that. So I think those are the only two players that have ever done it, if I'm not mistaken. But, I'm a little older now, so forgive me. Don't go off my memory. You might want to look that up.
I mean, for a long time, we saw Rafa kind of trading between taking a QuakeCon, not taking the next QuakeCon, taking the next, just kind of alternating. That was kind of the pattern for several years. But now there's not only QuakeCon to look forward to each year, there's all these DreamHacks. I mean, winter's going to be huge this year, I'm sure. And there's many more opportunities to, prove yourself and prove that you are still on top of the ladder.
It's just really hard to hold on to the top spot in such a competitive game like Quake and such a difficult game like Quake. Guys are watching you. These players are watching you. They're gunning for you. And as we mentioned before, even with Team Liquid, even though they got the win, there's only one way to go when you're on top, and that's down. So it's really tough to keep it with all these competitive players. They're so skilled. Eventually something's going to break. You can't win forever, as they say. A good thing never lasts forever. So eventually it's going to come to an end, but I'm curious to see how long they can keep the run going.
Completely. I think with PGL, they'll be looming in the not too far distance too. I mean, this is a great way to kind of, it always gets the ball rolling. We've had the players talking about how 2v2's been such a focus, but we now get to see the duel up in the limelight, guys. It looks like we've got ourselves into the grand final right now. The best of one has begun. Team Liquid dahang going versus clawz, and looks like we've got the Knicks out right off the get-go.
I mean, that is so dangerous, and we've seen what clawz can do with it already, but dahang's got the top of the map, moving back over towards Railgun, looking for clawz on the bridge, though, because he's already got that dangerous, dangerous rail. dahang just keeping some distance, which is not going to be easy. Going for the orb, but it's up against the Ghost Walk. Rocket jumping out of harm's way, but you can see the damage that he's done. clawz is going to be reeling from that fight a little bit.
Yeah, that was a crazy amount of damage, but the rail landing already is dahang not going to give up that angle at all. He's going to go down. He's going for the heavy. There's going to be a push from clawz, despite the fact that he's so weak, and he edges away to pick up the mega health. Very close for dahang.
It's a bit of a late run back to that mega, so dahang's going to get some information as clawz is leaving. Going to be looking for some rails across the map, but at only 100 on 100, dahang's got a bit more work to do, even up against a Nyx.
Heavy will be the next item up.
No information out of that rocket, so dahang's going to be popping back through, maybe coming into rocket launcher a little bit dangerous.
Whoa.
The orb nearly gets him out of the way. I mean, that was a nasty first rocket that he took there, but clawz is going to be able to take away this heavy armor. Mega's going to be up, but if clawz wants to collapse on it, he could be a real threat to dahang. It's going to be a play up the jump pad, clawz ducking back out to get the grab.
Oh, we haven't had any kills so far, but I feel like it's been a fast-paced game with just the way that the control is changing hands a little bit, the different items that each players are getting.
Yeah, the next major thing to play for will be this heavy armor. dahang crossing over to bridge, spotting clawz, not quite getting the rail, but he's got the information he needs, and collapsing on him. I like the force on the Ghost Walk, but this is now the third time we've seen Dire Orb whip against Ghost Walk, and dahang is saying, hey, being able to get this fight, being able to get that orb off, that might be more important than heavy armor right now. I can come back to Mega.
I really like what dahang does with the Dire. I'm sure he hasn't been successful with it just yet, but it's something that clawz is really going to have to respect because he's so quick on the trigger in order to get that DPS out, and you're seeing that clawz has to react equally fast with the Ghost Walk.
And just because dahang's going to be getting his orb back up before the Ghost Walk does, well, at least until you factor in the fact that we're not seeing too many close-range fights between these guys. They're showing each other a lot of distance, a lot of respect. Again, their first meeting on LAN, as clawz is going to be dropping in for the heavy armor. What great rails coming out of dahang. He's got the Ghost Walk to pop, but he's got to be able to survive this next rail.
Can he keep it going? I think Ghost Walk did just get used. He's gone past. That's a little rocket in the back as clawz goes up the bounce pad to collect the mega health. However, he's down at the bottom of the pillars. dahang searches for another rail, but it's just a whiff, unfortunately for him.
He had the right read, but now he's in a position where he's got to put his back to the heavy armor and defend that a little bit. 10 seconds until the Ghost Walk comes back up. clawz going a little bit passive for the moment. dahang should be able to get this armor for free.
I'm almost worried for clawz, though, because it's 3 minutes, no kills have happened. He's really keeping a distance in this fight. It's like uncharacteristic of him to play like this, but the rails coming out from clawz for the moment. dahang is forced to push back. He has a light armor to work with, but control at the moment. clawz can decide what he wants to do. There's a heavy to go to, or he can look to continue to pressure.
Yeah, clawz decided to go for that mega instead of chasing down dahang, which was wise, I believe. But with armor coming back up, dahang's not finding himself on the right side of the map either, so this could be a double item pickup for clawz. dahang's gonna be looking for him on the exit, but not getting a lot of info here.
Very, very quiet. Not even using the blood pool, actually. Is that health bubble?
Yeah, but he's giving a lot of information to clawz as well. He's waiting around a corner with the Dire Orb at ready. But with this stack against clawz's stack, it's so very dangerous if things go wide. Here's the orb, and the first frag going to clawz.
That was a read from dahang to feel that clawz was going around the corner, but he's playing a light champion, a smaller hitbox. Getting those Dire Orb frags going is really, really difficult. And clawz, I mean, his reactions are so quick. We've got the dual wheel coming out. clawz has got a back off. He still doesn't have the Ghost Walk back up. 2 seconds to go. And dahang is going to have to fade away without having attained that frag. He's only on 50 health, and he's forced to make a move very, very soon with only 30 seconds left on the clock.
That rocket from clawz to save dahang's life. He rocket jumped to get back into the play for pillars and mega, but clawz saw the, dahang saw the explosion and decided it wasn't such a good idea to go for that mega. But that still means a double item pickup for clawz. dahang is going to be struggling at the bottom of the map. clawz looking for a little bit of information down here. It's going to be on the jump pad, trading off the damage, but clawz with this rail is going to be so dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, he's put on enough pressure already. Oh! Right out of the air. That is going to be just the Galena left, but with 5 seconds to go, clawz can be comfortable with the fact that he knows he's 1 round closer to the victory.
What an insane rail, but clawz, he really dominated the item positioning. As soon as he was able to get that double grab, that was it. That was the route. dahang had to go for an armor trade, and in fact, for that second one, he didn't even show up for it.
I feel the way he was playing very slow at the bridge. He just stood there for a while. It's like he'd kind of given up on challenging the control because he'd he was talking about the mind games. I feel like he lost that mind game, and I felt that Nyx was just all over him. He's going to have to, well, restart, refresh on this. He's got the chance to do so. See if he can put the pressure back on clawz. It's great LG. clawz finds himself weak and has to fade out of this.
Well, he's not going to be using the Ghost Walk just yet. Still risking a rail from dahang. Coming back into bridge, but dahang's already down here, making his move back over towards heavy armor. clawz has got to have the read that this means that Mega will be up, but he's still in this for the fight. He drops down, he commits. We've got the Ghost Walk and the grab for the heavy armor. Now it's a race back over to Mega, but it's a race that's going to involve a lot of nasty shots like that one from clawz.
clawz, how's he going to chase for this? The pillars is where all the resources are, but he just steps onto the bounce pad. I think he may have wanted to get a rail angle then. Some more hourglasses. dahang has found a light armor. He's collecting some bubbles, but he's still on a very fragile position. He's just around the corner.
Pixels out, but it's going to be the rocket coming out of clawz, popping the Ghost Walk just for that extra security, and that's going to be the first frag going to clawz.
Up and there's the heavy. Continue things going. I mean, you talk about frags where they're very close and you can't get into control and you've got to give it up off the opponent's spawn, but he is doing amazingly. He gets the 2 major items. There's dual wield coming out, but dahang falls yet again. One more kill for clawz, and he's going to be on the tournament point.
Over by the heavy armor, but it's not going to be up for a little bit, so he's going to be ducking out, trying to go get some weapons. clawz keeping the top of the map, and as dahang comes back in, sniffing for this heavy, it's going to be good LG, but I like these rockets from clawz. There's the frag, there's the round. Is clawz going to 3-0 dahang?
I mean, it could happen. It absolutely could happen, Jahar. It's coming down to this right now. dahang's not really been able to adapt to these plays. The Nyx has been so strong for clawz, and that gauntlet is within almost arm's reach for clawz.
Ah, yeah. Oh, we got clawz getting the spawn down here for heavy armor. He's already got his hands on a rail. Moving his way back up to bridge, looking over at rocket launcher, but dahang is going to get a rail of his own, and it's going to be traded off shots, and at this point, that is bad news for clawz, as he doesn't have anything like the stack control he had. Down to 7 HP, dahang is still here, clawz revealing his position, but he didn't get the read on where dahang is, so if dahang is dropped for armor, clawz is going to have no idea.
dahang faded away a little bit. He didn't want to engage at that point because he had less than 90 health, and it would have made him very weak. clawz looking for a flick, moving in now with rockets. The heavy, he steals it away from him. He's forced the Ghost Walk though. His rockets didn't connect enough. And the rail right out of the Ghost Walk. clawz, he wants another QuakeCon duel title. He wants it so bad. Hits a rail.
Avoid this angle. This is so very dangerous for him. He's already eaten a rail off of the spawn. He's going for the double rocket again, but it hasn't been perfectly good for him. That was so very close. clawz is going to be heading back to the top of the bridge. 3 seconds to heavy armor. dahang cannot afford to show up.
And the rails that clawz are landing. He seems to be, you just can't knock him at all right now. Talk about confidence, it doesn't matter what it is, he just has loads of it. That heavy stack's good for him. The Mega's up, dahang's just completely legged it from there. It's feeling like he's been suffocated by clawz, but not necessarily the control, but just the aim right around the corner. This could be a bit of a trap, but clawz, he turns around, hits the 180 rail into Ghost Walk. He's still got so much overstack. Now chasing with the LG, there's dual wheel, but dahang fights back, keeping himself in the fight and gets the heavy straight away. That is a much needed frag for dahang.
Once again, it's going to be so very difficult for dahang to restack back up. He's got heavy armor, a little bit of health. And as he's coming back into pillars, he's looking for the angle on clawz, who's going to be pressuring in for a Mega. And it looks like dahang's getting the 1 shot, but not the 3 or 4 that he needs to put the pressure on. This machine gun damage is actually really significant coming out of clawz, and moving back over towards rail, it's going to be dangerous for dahang.
Oh, dahang's missing so many shots. Now that rail question. Oh, the rail coming out. Are they going to go for the good? There's the rockets. LG misses. He goes the rail! dahang! He's going to take the lead in this round, but that heavy has been denied. There is a BJ in front of him. Not going to be able to go for a rail because he's out of ammunition with that weapon, and he's going to have to give up the Mega health to clawz.
This is a rough situation for dahang. Yeah. Oh no, it's going to be LG coming out, 21 HP, and clawz is able to take down that BJ. dahang is now down to a Galena and nothing else.
Well, the problem is now for dahang is that he's got to put some pressure on before this dual wield comes back. Otherwise, it's going to be all about the long range game. Fortunately, this map can lend itself to that, but the hourglass has already been taken. There's one rail. One more may have been it for clawz.
Here's the jump for Mega. dahang is thinking about putting it himself in, but not committing. clawz is going to have a great stack here. Still a long way away from heavy armor, both in terms of time and...
Whoa.
Here comes
One
3
more.
for clawz. He's looking
This
for the
could be
fifth
it.
LLG, and that is it. Dahang is out in the best of one final. clawz will be taking the victory.
Done it. He has done it. He has claimed his second dual tournament title at QuakeCon. He's got the gauntlet, the hands are shaken, and he is the champion.
Wow. Blood Covenants.
This guy does not mess around on Blood Covenant. That looks good on you, clawz. That looks really good on you.
That does. You look dangerous.
Oh, guys, we'll chuck
Sorry,
it.
speechless. That match. I mean, it was everything that you wanted out of a best of one. It was fast, it was slow. We had the traps. We never quite saw the orb from Dahang, though. So that is going to be clawz taking it. We've got Jason up there on the stage trying to corral clawz, calm him down, and give us a little bit of a word from him.
So clawz, first of all, you're shaking. I can literally see you shaking right now. I mean, I know the hug was good, but that's got to feel great, though, to beat Dahang, to beat a previous champion. You've never met him up in duel and competitive play at an offline event. How you feeling, man?
Amazing. I'm shaking. Yeah. Thank you very much for practice, Captain.
You know, I tried, but you know what? It was about you. You stepped up when it counted. 2v2 didn't go your way, unfortunately, but you came into this and you did extremely well. Back-to-back QuakeCon champion now. What are you going to do next? I mean, PGL's right around the corner.
Yeah, PGL is next, and I'm gonna keep with Johan, and I'm gonna do my best with Johan, and I'm gonna look up for CTF.
All right, well, you know what? I don't want to take too much of your time. Congratulations once again. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a round of applause one more time. Your QuakeCon 2018 Dual Showdown champion.
What a weekend. 2v2, duel, 3 whole days of it. This has been a massive QuakeCon.
This has been mental. The double-double's not to happen again, but you know what? In some ways, it kind of does with the 2 QuakeCon titles in Quake Champions, held exclusively by clawz.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. But it's interesting, too, also, even though it's not the same team, it is the 2 teams that ended up in the finals. Both of their team members ended up in the dual finals. So they kind of, you blind trust Team Liquid kind of splitting honors this QuakeCon. Is very interesting. But yeah, congratulations to clawz. Again, fanboyism. He's a hell of a player. I love the kid. And I'm really happy for him. I am, seriously. Even though he beat one of my favorite players, another one of my favorite players. But I've been really happy seeing clawz develop as a player and everything he did against Dahang. I mean, it was simply amazing, some of those things he was doing. What a deadly Knicks player.
Yeah, I mean, it took 2 rounds for Dahang to really figure out how to do anything against that champion. I mean, I think it's unbelievable. But at what point can I say I called it?
You did. No, you
Hey, you know what?
I'm stuck between 2 Americans, guys. You got to give me a break here. I'll take what I can get.
We've been rubbing the salt in the wound for months now, so it's all right. I have to eat the crow eventually, so I just pretend there's a big plate in front of me right now. I'm just digging in. It's okay. But I'm glad I was when I'm wrong. I'm glad it was clawz. How about that?
Hey, that's a good consolation. I mean, incredible matches all the weekend through. We know that we almost do nothing other than bring up VODs from previous QuakeCons, from previous LAN events, and just reminisce over just like 6-shot over 6-shot, comeback after comeback. And I think 2018 is going to be one for the books, one for the library.
Oh, completely, and who knows what to expect next year too, with so many things happening in Quake Champions at the moment. We've just gone free to play. There are new modes coming in. There are changes on the horizon. It's just such an exciting time to be in the game, and the differences from last year to this year already, but you can see like clawz has been able to adapt very, very well in this.
I mean, his combat skills are amazing, and I think he did some nice little mental plays. He slowed it down just a touch, just to slow it down just a touch, make Dahang think a little bit. And I'm wondering if because Dahang really didn't have that data, and I think Dahang's really good at picking out trends and weaknesses of the player. He really didn't have any time to adjust. I mean, this was his first time against clawz, and there he is holding his check in that awesome trophy. Oh my goodness.
That's a check that's a little hard to cash. It's a little hard to fit on the plane, in fact.
But it looks cool.
Pro tip for all the EU teams and players who won checks this year, by the way. Just cut the foam in the back, let the paper stay where it is, fold it up, Gets right behind
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. You have to think about these logistics
Sounds
when
like
you're
you've
coming
done
to
this
QuakeCon.
before.
Yeah.
I'll keep it a little simpler than that. You know, when you walk through the airport, numbers out, guys. Numbers out. Okay, so everybody knows what you've been doing. You'd be surprised. People are like, "What'd you win that for? For playing Quake? What's Quake?" Spread the word.
Yeah, especially now that Quake Champions is free to play. I expect to see all sorts of fresh faces and bodies on the servers. And if you're out there and you're just getting into Quake Champions and you're watching players like dahang, like clawz, just do incredibly, just ridiculous things in Duel, there's all kinds of opportunities and methods for you to find just a friend, somebody who you can have a really good match with and just start training each other. That's what Quake has always been about for more than 20 years.
I would like to give a shout out to Zoot as somebody who's excellent to learn from. There's a lot of people in the community that spend a lot of time in Quake, including the people you've seen on stage. But you can learn a lot from guys like Zoot here and all the pros and even some of the community streamers. Oh, it's true, man. You're a heck of a player and you know what you're talking about. And I think it's good that new players have a place to go because that wasn't always the case when I was a younger player. You know, we didn't have cool things like Twitch and streaming. If you wanted to learn something, you had to jump on a server and you'd be with like 10 spectators, and that was our stream. 10 guys watching.
I just want to highlight that clawz as well, one of the youngest competitors in the tournament. 20 years old, he's taking titles. He was 19 when he took his first QuakeCon. It's, you know, anything is possible here.
It's something you really haven't seen since the early days of Quake. I mean, you have to go back to, say, Immortal won a professional major at like 14. And even 04, our own 04 was like 16 when he won a major. But lately, you know, it's become a lot harder. The competition's just so thick. It's almost like you really have to go through some growing pains. It's amazing to see clawz just take over the way he has at such a young age.
All right, so, I mean, it's a great year for clawz. He's just going to be adding to his bankroll for Quake, $25,000 in Duel. Not too bad for just a few maps. Of course, Team Liquid will be our 2v2 champions this year, at least.
Absolutely.
But what a fantastic QuakeCon. I just want to say thank you from everybody up here on the desk, Zoot, Machiavelli, Ketchup, Jason. It's a real privilege to be able to stand up here, shoot our mouths off, and be able to just witness everything alongside everybody at home and in the audience. I think we're going to be signing off, maybe to enjoy just a little bit of the rest of the con. Have a great day, everybody.